Good morning. Awesome morning to you. This is the Evolution Rise and Grind. Study topic is the Great Compromise. The Great Compromise. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This music does not belong to me. This music belongs to Kenneth Day Jr. entitled It Is Not Over. It's not over. It's not over. It's not over. It doesn't matter what's going on in your life. It doesn't matter the circumstances of what you got going on. It doesn't matter. We are crossed over into a new year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Rise and grind. Study topic, the Great Compromise. The Great Compromise. Must I compromise who I am to have a relationship with you? Must I compromise who I am to be connected to you? Why can't I be accepted with the package that I bring to the table? The Great Compromise. Share the feed. Thank you for joining me. I am passionate about this message today. My job is not to motivate you, but to equip you. It's not to motivate you, it's to equip you to have the ability to stand in all circumstances. But if we don't know, good morning, if we don't know who we are, we compromise who we are just to be connected to people, or to be connected to entities, or to be connected in relationships. And the next thing you know, you've worked hard to be who you are. You worked hard to gain what you have. You've worked hard to overcome. And now all of a sudden, I have to compromise who I am just to be connected to you. I'm not willing to do it. I'm not willing to do it, because I had to pay a high price to be who I am. And I'm not willing to compromise for you, entities, corporations, ministries, ECT. Put it wherever you want to put it. I'm not willing to compromise, because guess what? My journey has been great. And if you just pay attention to the package that God put at the table, maybe you can learn something from the package, opposed to me compromising who I am. Because if I compromise who I am, not only have I lost my treasure within, not only have I lost the weight of who I am, not only, good morning, not only have I compromised my integrity, I've compromised what God has done in my life just to stay connected to you. I don't think so. Share the feed. Share the feed. The Great Compromise. The Great Compromise. I am not excited about the new year, but I am awakened. I'm aware. I am fully aware of who I am as an individual, and I am aware of my walk with God. That's a powerful position to take in life, because many of people are trying to wonder. They're trying to figure this thing out. And when you gain solidarity in those two places, you would never compromise again. a lot of time I found out that sometimes us being as established as we are, we think that we have the monopoly on the thing. Let me go ahead and let me get started. We think that we have the monopoly on life ministry in a certain situation, because we may be seasoned at a thing, and then when God bring a fresh wind through, we pretty much toss it to the side because we got the monopoly on it, and we pretty much have come to a conclusion that my way is the best way. Okay, we've pretty much come to the conclusion that this structure has already been set and laid. The foundation has already been laid. So therefore, if you want to be a part of what I have going on or who I am, you got to compromise, meaning you got to toss away your beliefs. Oh my God, my God. Let me tell you. This could be applied to your relationship with your children, your relationship with your mate, your relationship in ministry, your relationship all the way across the board. Because one thing I found out is that once you have done the work and life has taken you places, and you've been in gutters that many people won't go, and you've been trashed and mistreated, and God chose you for the trash. He chose you for the journey. He chose you for the hard places in life, because he already knew that he equipped you. He built you up. Your DNA can take the pressure. I wish I would have known this. I wish I would have known this earlier on, that my DNA, the way God built me up, my blood and my all of my organs and everything else was built to take the pressure of life. And what happened is, if you're not solid in your belief in God and yourself, you will find yourself in a position of compromise. I'm not willing, say it to yourself, I'm not willing to compromise who I am to be attached. Is it necessary? Is it necessary for me to get rid of my journey just to be a part of what you have going on? Okay, so now, it took me a long time to realize that God has, my first office is a prophet. And God, from a young child, God made me overly sensitive, and nobody knew why, because my parents were, my dad was an alcoholic and my mom was a heroin addict, so there wasn't anybody there to cultivate my gift. I was overly sensitive. I cried all the time, and I didn't want to be a part of people, and I didn't want to go to people's houses and all the rest of that type of stuff, not knowing later on prophets are overly sensitive. Thank you for joining me. Prophets, they have a separate journey from a whole lot of people, and prophets they weird people, and good morning, love, and share the feed, please. And prophets, they have that sensitivity thing to where people think that something is wrong with them. But I'm here to tell you that your DNA, God, the way that God equipped you and the way he made you, he equipped you for the ones that have been to hell and back. This is a new year, 2021. My job is not to motivate you, but it is to equip you and make you aware of the devices of the enemy. So now, while many have had a life of smoothness, and they had a life of they pretty much lived a plush lifestyle, and then all of the parents are there, and all the siblings are getting along, and you got all the love and all the rest of this type of stuff. That wasn't my testimony. Okay, so now God built my life on broken stuff. Okay, so he took I don't know if y'all remember Inspector Gadget and all of them. They took parts from robots and put things together. As a matter of fact, when they were done, they had a leg by the ear, and they had a ear by the thigh, and then they had an eye on the chest, and then if you take a look at it, it looked kind of awkward. Yeah, but that's what my life is built off of. Awkward. Okay, so now, me searching through life, trying to, why don't I resemble everybody else, and why don't I, why did my life go like everybody else? I got an eye on my forehead, and then their eye is in the socket, and why do I have an arm where my leg is supposed to be, and why do I got an eye in the back of my head? Okay, so now, so God took all of the broken areas in my life, and he put together me. Okay, so now I'm walking broken pieces. I am walking broken pieces. Okay, so now once I gathered all of that together and realized that broken pieces is my identity. My God. Broken this I'm a brand ambassador for broken pieces. That's the reason why I could deliver like I do. See, motivation is not my job. It's not my job. I don't know. I haven't grown up in motivation, but God has given me a gift to equip the people for the truth. The truth is, as long as you take this journey and you build your life. Good morning, and you take the blows of the enemy, and then you had to rock. Sometime you got knocked down, and then you had to get up, and then you experienced character assassination, and what happened is they didn't know that while they were attacking your character, they were getting rid of, they were causing you to self-examine a piece of you that needed to go anyway. That's a whole nother, so if you're experiencing character assassination, let God use them, because the devil is employed by God. Okay, so now let God use them to assassinate the parts of you that you have to revisit and reevaluate and get rid of. Okay, so now moving on to my subject, the great compromise. I had lately I went to go and get I got my daughter from school, and we had this time around, we had like a little rough situation going on. I was like, who is this young lady in my house? Like, I don't even know who she is. Okay, so I was like, okay, God, see, because I learned to become a student of a thing. Okay, for the ones that has knowledge and wisdom, and God has called you to train other people. Let me help you with this. I want you to listen closely. When you remain in the position of a student, now when you master anything, you always go back to being a student, because that next wave of learning is on the way. Okay, so now if you stuck and you pretty much think you got it down pat, and you know everything, now you just miss God, because lessons come every day. Okay, so now let me go back to my daughter came home, and normally I'm just oh my God, my daughter home, and anybody know me, that you'll know she the love of my life and the star in my sky. But when I picked her up this time, things got different. I'm like, who is she? And she was saying, who am I? My mom, you're not who you were when I was home the last time, and all the rest of that type of stuff. And I started feeling bad about it. And because one of my biggest priorities on this land is to be a mother. Okay, so I take pride in being a mom. Nothing else matters. So what happened is the relationship got kind of twisted this time, and I was like, okay, God, now I either learn or win. I never lose. Okay, so y'all type that in if you're listening. We either learn or win. We never lose, because when tough places come, we position ourselves as students. So therefore, the enemy can't come in. The enemy can't come in and rob your life and rob your experience and rob your relationships, because you're willing to take the low road and learn. So she came home, and she started saying, you don't cook no more, and you got more ice in here than you got food, and all the rest of that. And Mom, when I come home from school, I want you to do this, that, cook meals, and you didn't even ask me what I wanted for dinner and all. And I'm sitting back saying, well, like I finally got it that I'm home by myself. So I went from buying a whole grocery a whole buggy full of food to buying a couple of bags, because guess what? I finally got the memo. It's just me. So I restructured my life to accommodate me. Okay, so now per her request last year when I told her, baby, I'm coming to visit you. Good morning. Please share the feed. Somebody type in, we either learn or win, we never lose. Okay, so that's our 2021 standing. So per your request, when I wanted to come visit you, see, I used to come and just drive to you just to have 3.5 hours just to have breakfast with you. And I used to drive 3.5 hours just to have dinner with you and come on back home. But per your request, Mom, you need to get a life. Okay, so now that means that you got you one, so now I got kicked out of your life because now you want to get a life without me. So, okay, so now I got the memo, and kids got to grow up, so it was a hard pill to swallow, and I started to, I wiped my tears away, and I wiped my tears, and because it was hard, because how do you go from, and I'm speaking in another vein, I'm using this, but I want y'all to hear me. How do you go from serving a cause that no longer needs you? Yeah. So how do you make the readjustments when all of a sudden you got to get the memo real fast that your services are no longer needed? Okay, so now how do you make the quick adjustments to get the memo that you are in this thing by yourself? You all alone. So everything that you have learned and everything you have compromised your life for and everything that you've lived for and worked for, now all of a sudden says your services are no longer needed. Okay, so now once I got that thing and I was like, okay, I got me a little piece of life, and I started traveling a little bit, and I started to just thinking about me alone. And when she came back home, y'all listen to me now. I'm talking about my y'all know A Day and Time with the Inner You is a program of inspiration, motivation, and resuscitation, but it is also a program of truth. I share my life with you so you will know what I'm teaching you is coming from an authentic place, so we can walk this thing out together. Okay, so now, so when she came home this time, Mom, you ain't cooking no more, and all the rest of that, and Mom, in other words, she was looking for the me that she left here. Yeah, and I was looking for the her that I dropped off to school. And guess what? Both of us had to get the memo, because neither one of us existed anymore. Okay, y'all got it? Put it where you want to put it. Okay, so now, so here go the tug of war. The tug of war is, now that we have reconnected and you expected me to be who I was when you left me. Okay, now this not I'm using my situation with my daughter, but you put this way you want to put it. The title is The Great Compromise. Do I have to compromise me to be a part of what you have going on, or are you mature enough to say, if I bring her on board or bring him on board, maybe I could learn something? Okay, so now, both of us had to get it, and it took some days for us to jail, and we started fussing and carrying on. We don't do that. We never fuss. I'm like, God, what the hell is going on? Okay, so I'm like, what am I not getting? What am I not getting? Oh. So I got quiet, and I shut in, and I shut down, and then I started saying to myself, now hear me. My daughter is the love of my life. Oh, I want y'all to hear me. And ain't nothing in this world more important than my daughter. Okay, so if anybody know me, they already know. Don't make me choose, because you will lose. That's my baby. Okay, so now, but I sat back and thought about it. And I started talking to the woman that I became as a mother with a grown child in college. And see, parenthood have different layers and different offerings. And when the kids go to school, you're supposed to shed off a certain part of motherhood. But I held on to it because guess what? It was the better part of me. Okay, so now, moving forward. I had to sit down and shut in and talk to the woman that I had become from the time she went to school. And I started thinking about my growth and my development in me trying to understand who I am without a child in the house. See, she's grown. She's an adult. I got the memo late. I had no choice but to get the memo. Okay, so now I had to sit back and talk to the woman and the mother and the woman of God and the prophet that I am. And I had to rationalize with all those people inside of me. Okay, so the conclusion is, and as much as I love my baby, y'all know I lay down my life here. As much as I love her, and as much, okay, I wasn't willing to compromise my growth and go back to doing the old mechanics that I did before she went to college. I wasn't willing to go backwards to serve a purpose that I had already served. Okay, now, so see, that part of servanthood in my life is done. Okay, so now, so I got a different role in your life now. That part of me that made sure you had a hot breakfast every morning before going to school. A lot of children eat cereal. Okay, you think eating cereal is fun because that wasn't, you had grits, eggs. Okay, y'all got it. Okay, so I wasn't willing. Y'all put it where you want to put it, because 2021, let go the roles that you used to play in order to stay connected to people. Let go the roles that you used to play in ministry to remain what somebody needs you to be. Let go of the roles you used to play in your children's lives, because you're guilty of not being who you should have been in front of them. Okay, so now let go of going backwards to play roles that the door has been closed on. Because see, what happened is when you compromise, and it took me a long time to get this, because I wasn't affirmed by my parents. Like I told you before, my dad was an alcoholic and my mom was a heroin addict. So looked like to me they needed to be affirm themselves. Okay, so that by the time 15, both of them was gone. So I found myself in a lot of places that I wanted affirmation. Wanting affirmation comes with compromise. Oh my God. So I start to reevaluating the places that I compromised who I am, because I didn't have full solidarity in who I was in God. So when God build your life up with broken pieces, I got an eye on my forehead, and I got a leg where my arm is supposed to be, and my nose is in the back of my head. My God. God has, my God, Jesus. Oh, God. Y'all give me a minute, because I'm feeling this thing now. So when God has built you up with everything awkward. Yeah, you awkward. Yeah, because although you look like everybody else, you already know your broken areas. You already know that you got an eye on your forehead, and shut up, old coach. I ain't that look. I'm about to blow this whole thing. You already know that without the hand of God on your life, you ain't no good, and nobody knows that you have an eye in the back of your head but you, because guess what? You had to live that life alone. So, Jesus, my God. So, compromise is a non-negotiable. There's no negotiation in that, Jesus, because I had to come too far, and my God, Jesus, I had to come too far. And I'm not willing, because there are a lot of people that is traveling this journey that did not have the support system that they needed, and they were not affirmed by the right people, and a lot of people took advantage of them, and all the way across the board, they gave their all And now that they had to go out there on their own and try to figure this thing out, they were rejected out of places that they had served in, and they were they experienced character assassination in the midst of them spinning and trying to figure this thing out. And it took them some time to get themselves together, to believe that the hand of God is actually on their life. And if the hand of God is on my life, why am I going through all of this? Why am I going through all of this? And the only thing I wanted to do was be a part of something. But as soon as I realized that I have something else to offer, you want me to compromise? Guess what? I'm not willing to do it, and I'm not going backwards because you refuse to grow. I'm not going backwards because you refuse to accept the gift that God has brought to the table. I'm not willing to compromise and go back. Although this is Eureka Evolution, and this thing has took a whole nother turn. This is a to be continued, but I just want you to know that nobody knows in all your dressed up clothes and your suits and all your fine living and whatever it is that you had to do to get yourself together. Nobody knows that you have an eye in the back of your head, and nobody knows that you have a leg where your arm is supposed to be, and nobody knows that you experienced abandonment and situations that caused you to second guess who you were, not only in you, but then when God started calling you forward, it caused procrastination and it caused you to throw in the towel. But I'm here to tell you that don't compromise, even if you have to walk alone. Don't compromise, even if you're misunderstood. Don't compromise, because even with the things that you love and you hold dear, do not compromise. Don't throw you in for anything or anyone, because guess what? If God called you, then he knows that you are built up of broken pieces. He already knows. And he has given you something that a book could never teach you. And he has given you wisdom from on high that a lot of times is misunderstood. But I'm here to tell you that God knows how far you had to come. This is 2021. My job is not to motivate you, but my job is to equip you to be aware of the devices of the enemy to stop you from going forward, okay? Because there's a whole lot of hoopla going on in 2021, and there's a lot of motivation and inspiration, but don't nobody want to talk about the areas in your life that may stop you from being inspired. Nobody want to talk about those areas of the areas that you feel inadequate, that the enemy can come in and sneak in the middle of the night and whisper that you're not good enough, and it will stop you from being who God has called you to be. So I'm not here to motivate you nor inspire you. I want you to be equipped for this journey called life, because I had to pay a price for what it is that I teach you. So this is Eureka Evolution. This is a day and time with the inner you. This is an authentic approach to life. There's a reason why I don't quote scripture. Because, see, I spent majority of my life as a praise and worship leader, and I was broken and couldn't understand why. I picked up the mic, I was anointed, and I moved the lives of people. But why? Why is my life still standing still? Why am I able to set the church on fire, and then when I go home I feel broken? So I had to walk out of something that I love, and I disappointed a lot of people. And I want you to hear me. People were expecting me to stay in position, but I had another job to do. I had to get to know who I was, and why was I able to move the lives of people, and I was still broken. I couldn't, so I had to put the mic down, and I had to take a hard journey, because nobody taught me, nobody was able to teach me what God used my life to teach me. So I'm teaching you, so you don't have to be paused in your life, because you know that you have gone through so much. You don't have to stop, and you don't have to throw in the towel. Just know, just like myself, God has built me up off of broken pieces. This is the face of broken pieces. I'm not operating broken anymore, because I have full awareness of who I am and who God is in me. These tears are not sad tears. They're tears of joy, because I finally made it. I finally realized I'm not willing to compromise. I finally realized that I'm willing to be alone. I'm finally there to the place to where it's either you take it or you leave it, because I paid a high price for it. This is Eureka Evolution, a day of time with the inner you, a Eureka proclamation. See you on Thursday.